I've had a disability with a mobility impairment since age 4, but I've always been active as a child and into a lot of different sports. My main sport was gymnastics while growing up, and I finally found my way to disability-specific sport at age 23, where I started in powerlifting and eventually moved on to athletics. I've been lucky enough to represent Australia at the last 4 Paralympic Games and had a little bit of success there as an elite athlete. And I've also been employed at the Australian Sports Commission in the Disability Sport Unit for about the last 10 years and done a lot of work in this area at a sport development level. Part of my role at the Australian Sports Commission has been managing the Sports Ability Program. That was a program that we started rolling out in 2005, specifically targeting people with higher support needs and young people. And initially it was a school-based program, but has since, over the last sort of 6 years, 7 years, has expanded into a much broader community-based program as well. I guess in the setup and development of that program, we went through a lot of trial and error in some ways, where we developed a number of resources, including some activity cards. After we developed the activity cards, we saw there was a good need to develop an instructional DVD to support the video cards. So the entire package was, I guess, self-supportive if there wasn't available hands-on training to go along with the Sport Ability program. And we started rolling this out to schools in mid-2005. There was a training program that supported the program, but where that wasn't available, we also had the instructional DVD to support it. The cards took a little bit of work to develop and design, and we were very lucky to work with some very knowledgeable people when we were putting those together. The second phase of Sports Ability was targeting Indigenous communities, and I guess we particularly looked at including some traditional Indigenous games in those cards. For that process, I put together a small reference group of Indigenous people from around the country, and we literally tested the games out and see which ones were going to work and weren't going to work, and which ones were easily adaptable for people with different disability. That process took a little longer than expected. We also constructed a new instructional DVD for the Indigenous games as well, and then started putting that through various communities throughout Australia. I guess in the rollout of Sports Ability, I've facilitated or run hundreds of workshops across the country from in-service teachers, pre-service teachers, facility managers, school kids, a whole range of different people, all involved in the sport industry in some way. I guess the main thing to do when running a workshop is really try and get the participants' hands-on involvement. Usually a workshop probably involves a little bit of me talking, setting the scene if you like, but most of the workshop is about facilitating discussion between the participants, drawing out of them the answers that I want. Although I've had a great experience delivering a lot of workshops and seen a lot of adaptations and modifications to different games, it's really that you need to draw out of the participants and empower them to make these changes to the activities to make them more inclusive. I guess even though I have seen lots of modifications and adaptations, it's still quite common for someone to come up with a new game or a new way of doing an activity that I hadn't thought of before. So along the way, I've actually built up a whole range of other activities and adaptations just through my work delivering the workshops and allowing the participants to be hands-on and make decisions and go through that trial and error sort of phase so they can come up with some good ideas. In fact, some of those new ideas from the participants ended up in Sports Ability too.